Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're having a look at the 960M graphics card from Nvidia. Specifically, we are comparing the overclocked settings versus stock settings. The overclocked settings we have on this card is a plus 135 MHz on the core and 500 MHz on the memory, which is quite significant. Playing in the background right now is Unigine Valley benchmark with the overclocked settings. I use this benchmark quite often because I find it returning quite representative results of real life gaming scenarios, and it stresses out the GPU quite efficiently. Now it is actually recording wrong. It is recording the core at, I believe, 1377 MHz. While in reality, when overclocked, it only goes up to 1311. So that is a strange bug, so please overlook that. But I think that's quite enough chit-chat for this intro. Why don't we go straight ahead to see the results of these benchmarks and see whether or not there is a significant difference between these two settings. So first up, the overclocked settings. We got a score of 1641. Which is quite respectable. It is less than I usually get, but that is because we are recording at the same time. Speaking about recording and stuff, let's see what we got at stock settings. There we got a 1493 score, so there is an increase, but not a very significant one. So why don't we go ahead and test some games to see if there are any differences there. Now first up we have Crysis 3.
Okay.
Now, the footage you're seeing here is recorded using the overclocked settings. I couldn't get the frame rate counter to show while recording, so you're just gonna have to trust these numbers. At stock settings, we got a minimum of 27 and an average of 35 at the high preset at 1080p. You janked up those up to overclocked and we get a minimum of 31 and an average of 39. Now, I really suck at FPSs, so you're just gonna have to excuse me for being this horrible. Is there a type of game I like? Well, yes, space games. Speaking of which, here we have Rebirth. It's a hated space game that I, by chance, like. Now, it is quite aesthetically pleasing, so it's worth benchmarking. So at stock settings, we got a minimum of 38 and an average of 46 running at the ultra preset at 1080p. Janked those up to overclocked and we got a minimum of 45 with an average of 53. So the 960M is quite capable of running this strangely unpopular game that I would advocate for and am doing right now. Last up, Fallout 4. Now this is a very demanding game since it is very unoptimized for low-end hardware. So at the high settings at 1080p, at stock settings in the overclocking tool, we got a minimum of 26 with an average of 34. Janked those up to overclocked and we got a minimum of 28 with an average of 38. So it's playable, but I would advise turning the settings down a bit. Well, that was the video, and I would like to thank you for watching it. If you liked it, please like it. If you like me, please subscribe. And I'm gonna leave you with this wonderful, can't even talk today, clip of Rebirth playing. Thank you.